My name is Farhiya Wale, and I just completed Organic Chemistry 2 in the spring of 2021 at the University of Louisville, and I had Tim as my tutor.
Hi, my name is Walker Gosborn. I'm a junior at the University of Louisville. I took Orgo 2 this previous semester, and I started working with Tim after the first exam.
Hi, I'm Alex. I took Orgo 2 at U of L in spring 2021, and I started working with Tim after my second test.
My name is Morgan McCool, and I took Orgo 2 in the spring of 2021 at U of L. I started working with Tim after completely bombing the first test and after only passing Orgo 1 because the grading scale kept being lowered.
Hi, I'm Kayla. I took Organic Chemistry 2 in the spring semester 2021 at U of L, and I started working with Tim after the second exam.
I hired Tim as my tutor after barely passing and truly learning with a different professor and a different grading scale, organic chemistry. And in knowing that I wanted to be proactive, I hired Tim as my tutor.
So I finished Orgo 1 with a C, and being a pre-med student, I really needed to bring my A game and get an A or a B, essentially in Orgo 2. So I went into the course kind of with that mindset in mind. I had high expectations for myself. I needed to perform well. And after that first exam, I just did not get the score that I wanted. I didn't pass the first exam by any means. I studied really hard for it, thought that I was studying the right stuff, thought that I was doing what I thought was best, and just didn't get the score I wanted. So I started working with Tim after that first exam.
My first two test scores were 55, and as a student athlete, I really didn't have a lot of time to study, and I thought I was being efficient in my studying, but after working with Tim for the first time, I clearly didn't know as much as I thought I did. I personally am going to dental school, and I needed a C in the class to get into dental school, and Tim really helped me. After the first two tests, I really thought it was hopeless.
I've always struggled with Orgo, and I was in my final semester of college. I had already been accepted into grad school, and so I had to pass Orgo. To make things worse, I already struggled with ADHD, dyslexia, dyscalculia, and severe test anxiety. And I was working full time. It felt like all the cards were stacked against me.
He offered a little tutorial on how to do well on the third exam, which I attended, and I really liked his teaching style and how he just made things simpler. I had never experienced organic chemistry before this year, and so I was very nervous about it. It was one of the last classes that I needed to take before I start grad school.
I met with him 1.5 to 2 hours a week on every chapter, and know that that time that I spent with him was very valuable because I probably would have spent double or triple that time per week learning organic chemistry in a different way, probably not properly, if I hadn't met with him. So I was able to really condense the amount of time I spent really learning organic chemistry too, and do it in a way where I truly learn.
Working with Tim, it was a great thing for me. I think that what he did really well for me was he broke it down into like little chunks of organic. Like whenever you're doing a predict the products problem, it was kind of like, okay, well, what do we know can happen with this starting reagent, if it's a ketone, aldehyde, whatever it may be. And he was kind of like, okay, well, make a list of what you can and can't do with this. And then the same thing for the reagents. Okay, what can the reagent do? Can it act as a base? Does it act as an acid, nucleophile, electrophile, whatever that may be? And so his problem-solving process is truly what saved me.
His help with the test questions and just understanding how the test questions were going to be asked were super helpful. And things I didn't understand, he took the time to thoroughly explain.
When I was working with Tim, I felt like Moses in the Red Sea. I was like, how in the world am I going to get through this impassable obstacle? And then Tim was like, oh, hey, look, Orgo is really all the same thing, just repeated in different ways. You just have to change it up here and here and here. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the Red Sea parted. And finally, I saw a light at the end of the tunnel. I struggled with concepts from Orgo 1, and Tim would reframe those concepts for my dyslexic brain, and it would turn on a light bulb that I didn't even know existed. Sometimes I would feel like it was hopeless. I was gonna fail and there was no reason to even try. But then Tim would text me and be like, hey, how many practice problems have you done? He held me accountable, and it was really, really nice to have that because nobody else would hold me accountable. I honestly owe Tim everything because without him, I wouldn't be where I am right now. He pushed me to reach out to my professor, to do practice problems, to actually show up to tutoring, and to work hard in this class.
My first session with Tim, he just made things so much simpler. He really broke it down in a way that I could understand, that the book wasn't giving me and the teacher wasn't giving me, and made it make sense to where that I could apply those things for anything that I was doing with organic chemistry.
So I definitely have to say that Tim is very, very kind and very, very helpful and smart. And he really truly is invested in your learning and your growth. And he's truly there for you at any time.
Going into the final, I needed to do extremely well. I needed to get an 84% to get an A in the class, and I needed like a 60 to get a B. So I was kind of like, okay, we'll shoot for the A. Ended up getting an 87 on the final and got an A in the course, and I 100% credit that to Tim.
After working with him throughout the entire rest of the semester, I actually ended up getting a B in the class when I started with an F.
When I went into the final, I needed a 45 just to pass the class. I was sitting at a 38. I was really down on myself and not at all optimistic about the outcome. But I ended up getting a 64 on my final. It took me 5 long hours to complete this exam, but every session that I spent with Tim was put to use, and I finished the class with a C. Never, ever, ever in my life would I have thought that I would have finished Orgo 2 with a C. I doubled my score from beginning to the end. It would not have happened if Tim literally did not drag me to the finish line.
Took the final exam and actually got about 40% more than what that I needed. So I ended the class with a B, which I was extremely happy with.
He can see when a student doesn't understand, when a student understands, and when a student needs more or doesn't need more. He can identify through body language or through words that you say whether or not you truly understand something, and he'll make you learn it.
He was also a joy to work with. He was funny. He was charismatic. I really liked it. If I end up taking a course that Tim tutors in the future, 100% I will work with Tim again because it really saved me for Orgo 2.
So I really recommend him, and he's an awesome person. He's super funny, but also so helpful, and he's entertaining. It doesn't really feel like you're in a tutoring session.
He had one-on-one sessions with me. He caught me up from Orgo 1, and he was texting me, holding me accountable. He honestly saved my life and my future and my graduation. And I'm starting graduate school in the fall, and I am super, 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 super excited. And now I never have to think about Orgo ever again.
And so I would definitely recommend Tim for anything that you need. He just breaks it down to where you can understand it and is very easy to work with. Doesn't make you feel uncomfortable or make you feel like you don't know what you're talking about.
I would definitely say that I'm very grateful and appreciative to Tim and having him as my tutor, and I definitely valued the experience and will continue to value the experience for time to come. And I would say that you should hire Tim.
Tim sharpened my skills. He gave me the tools that I needed to do well in the course, and I could not recommend Tim more. So I would use Tim. I would get tutored by Tim.
But I definitely recommend it. You will do 100% better, and go with Tim.
So honestly, $300 here and there for graduation, saving you, $11,000 for a whole semester. I think it's a little worth it. But definitely can't recommend Tim more.
So I would definitely recommend him, and I would do it over again. I would hire him sooner than I would have before.